we will discuss about the great vessels of head and the neck region. Before starting the vessels, first of all, we discuss about the carotid sheath. What is a carotid sheath? This carotid sheath is basically like the axillary sheath. Like axillary sheath, this carotid sheath is an facial sheath. Facial sheath that encircle the common carotid artery, internal carotid artery, internal jugular vein, and a vagus nerve. These structures are surrounded by the facial sheath. That facial sheath is known as the carotid sheath. In this diagram, this is the transverse section of the neck. There are three layers of the deep fascia. First, it is the investing layer. These investing layers encircle the neck like a collar. It splits to enclose the two muscles, sternocleidomastoid and the trapezius muscles. This is the first layer. Now the second layer, it is the pretracheal layer because it is situated front of the trachea and it forms the false capsule of the thyroid gland. That layer is known as the pretracheal layer. And the third, it is the prevertebral layer. This is the prevertebral layer which encircle the prevertebral as well as the paravertebral muscles. So, in the neck region, there are three deep fascia are present and they form the various facial spaces, important spaces in the neck region. This carotid sheath is derived from these three fascia, that is the investing, pretracheal and the prevertebral layer participate in the formation of the carotid sheath. Now this carotid sheath extend from this. Where is the extension? This carotid sheath extend from the base of the skull. From base of the skull to the arch of aorta. Means in the superior mediastinum of the thoracic cavity. This is the extension, vertical extension of this carotid sheath. At the base of the skull, this carotid sheath is attached to the margin of the two foramen, that is the carotid canal. Margin of the carotid canal as well as the margin of the jugular foramen. This carotid sheath is attached superiorly, while inferiorly it is merged or fused with the wall of the arch of the aorta. So, this is the vertical extension of the carotid sheath. Now, the contents. We see in this diagram, this carotid sheath encircle the common carotid artery, that is the CCA, common carotid artery. This carotid sheath encircle one of the terminal branch of the common carotid artery, that is the internal carotid artery. Internal carotid artery. The external carotid artery pierces the carotid sheath and comes out from this. Means the external carotid artery is not covered by this carotid sheath. Then, on the lateral aspect of the common carotid artery, this is the internal jugular vein. It is also covered by the carotid sheath. And a structure, that is the vagus nerve, 10th cranial nerve, which is situated behind and between these two structures. It is also enclosed by this carotid sheath. Now, this carotid sheath is thin around the internal jugular vein, while thick around the common carotid artery as well as the internal carotid artery. Why? Because to allow the expansion of internal jugular vein at the time of increased venous return. For this purpose, this fascia is thin around the internal jugular vein, while the thick around the artery. Now, in the anterior wall of the carotid sheath, this is the anterior wall. In the anterior wall of the carotid sheath, that is embedded, it is the ansa cervicalis. Now the question is, what is ansa cervicalis? Think. Then we see behind the carotid sheath, here is the carotid sheath. Behind the carotid sheath, it is the prevertebral fascia. There is a structure. This structure is sandwiched between the two fascia. Fascia of the carotid sheath and the prevertebral layer. And this structure is the sympathetic chain. Cervical part of the sympathetic chain is present, clustered between the two facial sheath. That is the prevertebral layer and the carotid sheath. This sympathetic chain is present outside the carotid sheath. After the carotid sheath, we discuss right over the infrared muscles. That infrared muscles are also known as the ribbon muscles. These are the infrared muscles. Why we discuss the infrared muscles? Because they comes anterior relation of this common carotid artery and the internal jugular vein. The infrared muscles, they are also known as the ribbon muscles, and they are situated below the hard bone, so they are known as the infrared muscles. There are 4 infrared muscles. That is the sternohyoid, sternothyroid, superior belly of omohyoid, then it is the thyroid muscles. These 4 muscles along superior belly also include the inferior belly. Inferior belly of the omohyoid. Omohyoid is the 2 belly, superior and the inferior belly. These 4 muscles are considered as the infrared muscles, and out of which these 3 muscles, that is the sternohyoid, superior belly of the omohyoid, and the sternothyroid muscles, along with the sternocleidomastoid muscles, they overlap or comes in the anterior relation of this carotid sheath, or we can say it comes anterior to the common carotid artery or internal jugular vein, out of which these 3 muscles are supplied by the branches of the ansa cervicalis. This ansa cervicalis supply these 3 infrared muscles. One muscles, that is the thyroid muscles. This muscles is supplied by the direct branch of C1. This direct branch of C1 also supply one muscles. That muscles is the suprahyoid muscles, and that muscles is the geniohyoid. This geniohyoid and the thyroid muscles are supplied by the direct branch of the C1 root, while these three muscles are supplied by the fibers of this ansa cervicalis, that is the embedded in the anterior wall of the carotid sheath. The suprahyoid muscles we will discuss in the submandibular region. What are the suprahyoid muscles? Now, these infrahyoid muscles, they play important role. The action of these infrahyoid muscles is to depress the hyoid bone. Depress the hyoid bone at the time of the swallowing. These infrahyoid muscles depress the hyoid bone.